The top of the hour, 90 days after the death of Osama bin Laden, a Chinook helicopter loaded with U.S. troops, including 22 Navy SEALs, was shot down over Afghanistan. And the parents of one of those SEALs who lost their lives on board, Aaron Vaughn, say the Obama administration is to blame for putting their son's life in danger, and they want answers. Karen and Billy Vaughn are telling their heartbreaking story in their brand new book, which they published themselves, called Betrayed, the shocking true story of extortion. Extortion 17, as told by a Navy SEAL's father, and that's available on Amazon, also your own website. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
First the small picture, then the big picture. That day, that time, your son. What bothers you about the events that took place prior to the Chinook being shot down?
They went in that night on an antiquated National Guard helicopter. 3.5-hour operation had been underway. No pre-assault fire was laid down for that chopper as it went in. Even though some people in theater have told us that the landing zone was so hot that the SEALs were pretty sure that 2 choppers couldn't even make it in, so they all boarded 1 chopper. After the chopper was shot down because of the rules of engagement, even though the air weapons teams in the air saw where the shots came from, they didn't take out the men who fired the RPGs. They actually walked away that night because, quote, the military's quote, there might be friendlies in the building where the RPGs were fired from. So
it's all about rules of engagement, but on this in particular, 22 SEALs on the same helicopter is relatively unprecedented. Also, there were some Afghani so-called special forces that were changed at the last minute, right?
It's a question we cannot seem to get a straight answer to. We found out that there were 7 Afghans who died on the chopper were not the men listed on the manifest. And that didn't seem like a big deal to Billy and I when we first read it in the documents. We thought maybe it was to protect their families or, you know, something that wasn't nefarious. But then what happened is the senior enlisted advisor in the military notified us that it was a very big deal that those men were not switched out on the manifest, and that a commander had made the call at the last minute, found out the investigative team had never been told about that last minute switch.
In the big picture, SEAL Team 6 had a target on its back. As soon as the president said they were responsible, and Brennan and everybody said they were responsible for doing the hit, they couldn't believe they were brought up, this actual SEAL team and the number, and that's exactly what the enemy wanted, to take it out, and they did. You bring up other things that bother you about it, not just the horror of that, and what happened to your son is tragic and you'll never get over, and everyone can understand that. But the rules of engagement right now in Afghanistan have you concerned. Why, Billy?
Well, first of all, in 2009, our forces began operating with what's called the OCG, Operational Coordination Group of Afghanistan. We've learned from the military that this group is not vetted by the American government, by the American military, because of an agreement that the Obama administration has with Karzai. This group has eyes on every special operations mission that takes place. They have the intel. They're in on the pre-op, the post-op, everything.
The flight route, the landing
zone. So these
zone.
Afghanis that we're supposedly training are in on all our things. We have to get okays before we get it from the Afghan government.
Absolutely.
Look at these stats. Since the Obama administration's takeover in Afghanistan, the Bush administration, 630 Americans lost their lives in Afghanistan, 2,600 wounded. Since that time, the Obama administration, 1,544 have died, 15,000 are wounded, and you believe it's directly because we're not allowed to fight anymore.
It is. We talk to people coming back from Afghanistan on a regular basis, and the rules of engagement that they're forced to live under are stunning. The American people would be outraged if they had any concept of what was taking place on foreign soil right now. We have people telling us that their greatest fear when they go out on a mission is being shot in the back of the head by their Afghan component that's on the raid, because they may brush a Quran with their leg or something simple like that and have a gun pulled on them. Now, is this any way to force our sons and daughters to do battle on foreign soil? And that's one of the simple stories. There are so many stories we've accumulated that would literally stun you. People who, on the raid specifically, the air weapons team asked to take out the men who were gathering near the landing zone of Extortion 17. They asked to take them out 2 times and were denied, even though there would be 0 collateral damage. Why?
Because and the men and women who fight are told to suck it up and keep it to yourselves. So you're speaking for them. Like Aaron stuck up for this country, you're sticking up for those who are still fighting.
Absolutely.
And that's all in the book Betrayed. Go out and get it. And your website?
ForOurSon.us. That's FOROURSON.us. You can buy it there.
Learn a lot about Aaron there as well.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
An extraordinary guy.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you
so
much.
You're great parents.
Thank you.
All right.